Hey guys, it's Gabby. I'm coming to you in my second video, so I'm hoping that y'all all liked my first one. I've had some positive responses, and I'm hoping to get more. I've actually had an email, and I am so excited that I'm going to get to answer his questions and give you a little bit more of my experiences that I've had in my life and share those with you and hopefully help other people that are going through the same thing, to provide some kind of comfort there that you're not the only one. This video, if you haven't watched my first one, it has to do with the paranormal, dark spirits, I want to say like poltergeist, stuff like that. So if it's not your thing, I totally understand. You don't have to watch. It's a little bit out there. So bear with me and let me share a little piece of myself and my life with you. And hopefully you will have creative criticism and positive feedback. Tell me the things that you want to hear about, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I know it's been a minute since I've actually got to post another video, so I'm super excited that I've actually got the time, even though it's super late at night. I've actually got the time to get with you and to give you a little bit more information. Now on to the email that I received. It was from one of my subscribers, and he asked some questions about dark spirits and another topic that we will go into briefly. And the first question is, do you have any experiences with dark spirits? Now that is a definite yes. My first video gives you a good little outline of things that have happened to me in my life, and it has been a long ride. It has been a long, hellish time with this type thing, all of my life that I've had to deal with, and it took me years to cope with all of the terror and the negative stuff that I've had to deal with as far as the paranormal goes, because I would define myself as a sensitive, because I've always been able to sense things, and I've always been able to walk into a room and tell you if there are bad things that are lingering there or not. I've seen some crazy things. One of those things would be things flying across the room, or things that would come to me, and this all started at, I want to say, 12 to 14, and that was when I started to dabble into the occult, into Wicca, and from then on it has been a power struggle to keep those things out of my life. And I'm here to tell anyone that has problems with negative energy, with demons or things of that sort, that you're not the only one. You're not alone. There are people out there that are experiencing the same thing, and even though you may feel so isolated and that no one in the world could believe you, that is so far from the truth. Things like this happen all across the world, and the only thing stopping us from connecting is that barrier, is that communication barrier. And if you can reach out and talk to someone about that actually knows what they're talking about and has been through the same things, then that will help you through. And I'm sorry, I get sidetracked, but the first question was, do you have experiences with dark spirits? And that is yes. My most recent thing that I've had to deal with was the day after, well, the day before my grandfather's funeral. And unfortunately, he passed a few months back, and we were preparing ourselves for the funeral and things of that sort. And we were never close, me and my grandfather, but it was still a blow to our family. And I would love to say that this had evolved from stress and from him passing, and it was just that. But with my history and with knowing myself, knowing what is real and what is not, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that what I experienced the night before the funeral was real. That night we had a friend over, and he was sleeping on the couch. I was in the bed with my significant other and my child in his playpen, asleep. I want to say this was late at night. I want to say about 2 or 3 o'clock that I started having this dream. Now, this is really terrifying, so please bear with me. This is really hard for me, so I might pause a little bit because of how real and how scary this is to me. So I'm just hoping that you can bear with me, because I'm trying not to make this too long. But that night, I have a dream, and in this dream, there is a brown wooden door. Okay. Now I'm looking at it. It's a little bit to the right, and I'm looking at it, and it's got locks all down the door frame. You know, it's bolted out tight. Well, the door starts rattling like someone is on the other side shaking the door. Okay, and as the door is shaking, I know that there's something evil on the other side. It's trying to get in. And I know this is not my house. It doesn't look like my house, but in a dream, it all feels familiar to you. Even no matter where you are, you could be in the Empire State Building, and it doesn't seem weird at all. Well, in this house, I was in the living room / kitchen with my husband, and my children were in the bathtub. Okay, I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. And my first thought was to keep us all safe. So I run to the door to try to make sure that it's locked and that nothing's going to get in. And as it's banging against the door, it's saying, "The boogeyman's coming, the boogeyman's coming, the boogeyman's coming." Now, we all have heard of the boogeyman. He's the awful creature that your parents tell you stories about. If you don't go to sleep, then the boogeyman is supposed to come and get you. Now, I haven't thought about the boogeyman in years. I haven't heard that term in years. Okay, so this is really weird for this to just pop up in a dream. So, I know that it's absolutely terrifying, but for some reason, the locks come undone. I don't know if they broke or they just, unlocked or whatever it was, but I knew he was getting in. So I ran back to collect my children and to get as far away from that thing as possible. And before I could run too far, this thing steps through the door, and it is huge. It is so very tall. It's a man in black with a top hat and a tuxedo, and he has very, very, very long arms. He's so very tall. I want to say 10 foot, 11, 12, I don't know. I've never seen anyone that tall. And he takes the room in 3 strides. And he grabs me by the neck, and he slams me against the wall. And I know he's about to kill me. Now, I don't know why I said this, because this doesn't make any sense. I said, no, you can't kill me. You have to give me a chance to fight. Give me some time. Now, at this point, I remember turning my head and looking at this creature, but I don't remember his face because all I remember was pure terror. It was so horrifying. It was so bone-chilling that I could never describe it, how grotesque this thing is. And so I guess I blanked it out because I don't remember what it looked like. And it laughed at me, and I said, give me 2 weeks, give me 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I don't know why I said that. But it's a dream, right? Just a dream, right? It laughs at me and it says, I'll give you a month. Now, the next thing that transpires has to be the worst thing that I've ever felt in my life. It grabs a flammable substance and it pours it on my little one, and it sets him on fire. Now, at this point, I have never in my life had a dream that felt so real. Okay? I've never in my life had a dream that felt so tangible, so real. Now, I've had dreams that everything feels real. You know, I've had those dreams. But this was a completely different level. Okay? I wake up out of a dead sleep. Okay? And I wail. In my mind, I have just lost my child. Okay? I start screaming, shaking, just screaming bloody murder. I get up and I'm slapping myself in the face. I'm running through the house. I am running through the house screaming. My friend on the couch wakes up and he's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, and I couldn't even speak. In my mind, I was a mother that just lost her child. And that is my worst fear. Is something, my children getting hurt or killed, and that was my worst fear, I realized. Well, I am screaming and crying for at least 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, straight. And I mean, if you really think about it, that's a long time to sit there and scream and cry. And I wake my husband up, crying and screaming, and he is like a bear when he sleeps. He hibernates. He doesn't wake up for anything. He's asleep. He's dead to the world. Okay? And he woke up and he knew that this wasn't just a bad dream. Because I could feel something in the room watching me. If you've ever felt like that, if you ever felt like you were in the room, like you were sitting in a room and something was just staring at you. Just straight up staring at you. Like the back of your neck is just every hair stands on end. And at this point, I've had enough time to realize that this is a dream. I'm awake now. It wasn't real. And yet still, I am so shaken and traumatized by this that I can't get a grip on myself. Okay, we'd go outside and smoke a cigarette, and I tell him, I said, baby, there's something in the house. There is something in the house, I'm telling you. And he knows me. By this point, we've been together 10 years. He knows me. He knows that I'm sensitive to stuff. He has seen it himself. He's seen the stuff go flying across the room. He knows what I'm telling him is the truth. So he says, okay, what are we going to do? Now, at this point, there's no storms, okay? There's no high wind, nothing like that. the lights start flickering, okay? And I go back to my bedroom. He says, come on, just try to lay back down, try to go to sleep. And I cannot get over the feeling of somebody watching me in the bed, and I can't sleep, but I'm so terrified. And I get out my Bible and I start to read, and the lights stop flickering as long as I start keep reading. Well, I was so scared that I couldn't turn around, and so I set my phone up on the video recorder, okay? Now I'm going to post this video for you all to see, and I want you to tell me what you think. But to me, I saw something sticking its head out of the door, and looking at the door was cracked, so you see something sticking its head out and looking. And as the video progresses, you see a little blue orb. Okay, now I looked in my room, and there was nothing in there that would have reflected that light. I tore the room apart. There was no shiny objects that were illuminated that would have made this orb appear. It was not daylight yet. There was no change in the light fixtures. There was no lamps that came on. And so during the video, at a certain point, I know when I went to sleep. Now, when I went to sleep, it looked like the head poked out more, and then the blue orb got brighter. Now, that blue orb is over there where my sun is. Okay, and it grows brighter, almost like it was protecting my sun. Now, I'm going to look for this video, and I'm going to find it, and I'm going to post it, because I really want you to see. It scared the living shit out of me. Excuse my language, but it did. Literally, I had not looked. I forgot about the video until after the funeral the next day. I talked to my family members, and they said, oh, were you talking about the Slender Man? I said, the who? And they said, well, what you described to me sounds like the Slender Man, the tall man. Now, that in itself freaked me out, because I had never heard of this guy, and I start looking him up, and he is fit to the T, pretty much, of what I saw. I talked to my family members, and they said that figure is associated with the devil, and how he appears to certain people that are wanting to make deals with him. And also in folklore and in fables, that this man was someone who hurt children, and who searched out for children and hurt them. Okay? And I didn't know who this guy was, okay? And I was terrified. I told my sister about him, and she came and we blessed the house. The next night, I still felt eerie. Oh, on the way home, my significant other basically stopped the car when I said, oh my God, look at this video. I forgot I had made this video, because it auto stops after so long. Or it went dead, or something happened. But I didn't stop the video, okay? And when I watched the video, I said, oh my God, there's a face here. Do you see that? He stops the car, pulls into the first parking lot we see, and we get out of the car, and I'm crying. I'm a mess. And he looks at this video. Now, I call my sister, and I'm telling her, I got this thing on video. You need to come down here and see this thing. I'm so scared. I can't do this. I can't. You have to come. I can't do this alone. I'm so terrified right now. So she comes, and we bless the house, and when she leaves, I start feeling weird again. And so I get out my Bible, and the lights start flickering. Now, again, there's no high wind, there's no storms. The lights start flickering, and every time that I start reading from the red letter words in the Bible, it would stop. But as soon as I would stop, it would start flickering again. Now, I read in the information about the tall man that it has some effect on electrical things, that they would lose service, that they would stop working, stuff like that. So that makes sense. Okay. And I go through the night pretty much with the Bible in my hand, and I fall asleep with it in my hand, and I have, since we've numerously blessed the house and prayed over the house, it has not, to my knowledge, been back. And we used to have children that used to come down to our house in the summer and play. They were the neighborhood kids, and there were times when they spent the night, and they would tell me about things that were in their house, shadow people. Now, you need to look that up, the shadow people, because that's basically what demons or ghosts or things like that, they identify with. They would see those type things. So I know that this video is already getting kind of long, so I'm going to go ahead and go through the rest of the questions. But that right there is the most recent that I've experienced, and I would look that up. It started out as an internet meme, and it just grew bigger, and it was supposed to be something scary, but take into account that most things that are fables or passed down knowledge, something like that, that they do have a grain of truth to them. They come from something that was truth, and they just grow bigger. It's kind of like, playing, the little game around the world, around the classroom or whatever. You tell a rumor, it goes all around, it gets bigger, bigger, bigger. Well, I think that it did have some grain of truth to it, and it is something that you need to look out for, because this is recent, and 2 girls died, or 1 girl died a few months back during the time that this happened to me. Actually, the week or the week after that those girls died is when those things started happening to me and to my family. The rest of the questions, sorry about that. Okay, have you ever noticed any unexplained scratches or claw marks, or been attacked by a ghost? Yes, I have received injuries. Not very substantial injuries, like scratch marks or something, where I have been attacked. And a lot of time it's in your sleep. It's in that little place in between sleep and wake. It's that in between place where you're half conscious, but you know what's kind of going on in your body. You can feel your body. I've literally recently been woke up, knew something was happening to me, something very inappropriate. Okay, I don't want to go into what it was doing, but it didn't get far before I realized what was happening, and I felt paralyzed. And if you've ever heard of astral projection or some, going out of your body, I've never done this, but this was my first experience doing this. It was the only thing that I had, and when I realized that I was being attacked and I wanted it to stop, it didn't like that I wanted it to stop, and so it grabbed a hold of my my side here and pinched. Now, I did not mean to doze off. Right, my son was watching TV. He was on the couch. And literally, I felt like that I lifted up out of my body. I couldn't see the thing. I turned my head to the side like this, and I was super pissed. Okay, super pissed that this thing thought that it could hurt me like that. You know, how dare you? Lifted up, cocked my head to the side, and said, "Flee in the name of Jesus Christ." And when I said Jesus Christ, it was gone. But it did grab a hold of my side and pinch. Now, when I woke up from dozing, I looked over, and my little one is laying flat on his back, looking at me with the strangest expression. And he's just looking at me, and like he knew something was happening, like he was being held on the floor. Like, held on the floor. And my littlest one, there's something special about him. And I'm terrified that he's going to be like me. That he's going to be sensitive to these things like me. And I really do think that he senses things and knows things, because I've seen him laugh at things that were not there. Like he would laugh. The certain laugh he has when he's laughing at someone. I mean, he wasn't watching a TV show. He wasn't watching anything happen. He was sitting in his playpen playing with his toys. And he looks up and he just starts laughing and smiling at something that's not there. And he's one. At this point, I think he was 10, 11 months old. There's something special about my kid. Okay, and I'm beginning to see things like my mom saw in me when I was little. And that scares the shit out of me. I do not want him to have to go through the things that I went through. Other than feeling sick or nauseous. Actually, I skipped a question. Have you ever had any bad dreams or visions that you were the subject of a ritual or being surrounded by dark figures? If so, what was the dream or dreams about? I outlined a dream that I had in my first video, and in this video I gave you 2 examples of some dreams that I've had that had dark figures that hurt me or had something to do with hurting me or my family, trying to scare me, stuff like that. So I know this video is already really long, but I'm going to go on to the next question. Other than feeling sick or nauseous, have you experienced any strange feelings in the tummy during any of these encounters? If so, what part of the belly and what did it feel like? No, I can't say that I've had any nauseous. Well, yeah, I would say with the fear that it would be like not butterflies, more like roiling in my tummy, like nauseous type feeling. Every hair stands on end. I would say like you're paralyzed, that sort of thing. Did you notice any particular health problems at any time during these encounters? If so, what were they? Other than the scratching and the nausea type, just being scared and petrified type feeling, I wouldn't say that I've experienced anything like that. Now, the next thing that I'm going to talk about, that the questions that he's asked me, now I don't have many experiences with this type of thing, but I have one that has happened recently. Now, this is mind-blowing, okay? Alien abduction. Yay, okay. We're getting into weird stuff. So, have you ever had any dreams or visions of being abducted by aliens? If so, what were they? No, I've never had anything like that. What did the aliens look like in your dreams or particular experience? Have you ever been the subject of any alien medical tests or experiments? If so, what happened and what were the experiments? No, I can't say that I have. Have you ever noticed any strange marks or implants? If so, where did you find them and what was it? Don't have any implants other than my Implanon birth control. I do have that. And by the way, I'm not making fun of these questions at all. I think that there are things out there. It would be ignorant of us as humans to think that all these creatures and everything that surrounds us, that there is nothing out there but us. That there's no higher intelligent being than us. I think that's kind of ignorant to think that we're the only ones out there. Okay, and then what do you think the purpose of the abduction was for? Doesn't apply to me. But the thing I was telling you about, the mind-blowing thing, is that I was going down the road in my car by myself really late at night. I want to say it was like midnight. And I'm just listening to my music or whatever, and I look up, in the corner of my eye, up in the right corner here, I see a emerald green light. Now this thing is bright, okay? This thing is like uber bright. And it doesn't fall down, it shoots down. Okay? It literally just in the fraction of a second, it goes from, I want to say, 2 full-grown trees, all the way up, 2 or 3 of them actually, all the way down as far as I can see, and then it just sort of like obliterates. That or the lights went out or whatever it was, but it wasn't a flare, because a flare would fall and it would take so much longer. Because I thought about this, I was like, is that a plane? Is that some type of aircraft? What the hell was that thing? I called my SO, my significant other, and I was like, what is that? Am I seeing things? I swear I just seen that. I know that I'm not crazy. I know that thing was just there. I wasn't thinking about anything weird. I did not have anything paranormal in my mind. I was just sitting there listening to music, being me, and just driving. And this thing just appears in the sky, and it just shoots straight down. It looks like it was in Pelham range. For people that know me, it looks like it was going straight down in that area. I don't know what was going on with that. I wanted to just turn and go follow that and see what it was, but I was going to someone's house and I was already late, so I couldn't. But the light that came down from the sky, yeah, that was absolutely crazy. I didn't know if I was seeing things or what was happening, but anyways, I'm so sorry that this video was so long. I apologize. It was not meant to be this long. But I do appreciate your time, and I hope to receive some feedback. Tell me what you think. Tell me what's on your mind. Shoot me an email. I have an email posted underneath this video. Hoping to hear from you either in the comments or in an email. I'll answer your questions, and hopefully I'll keep the next one shorter than this. But I appreciate your time, and any more questions, I'll answer them for you. And I'm so glad that I have you as viewers, and I will see you next time. Thank you.